You've seen the headlines. You've heard your friend's cousin's horror story, and perhaps you've even looked at homes on Zillow at 2 a.m. with a few too many glasses of wine. So the question is Bend, Oregon still a good place to buy in 2025? Short answer, yes. Long answer, buckle up, we're gonna dive in. Hey everyone, my name is John with the Kromm Real Estate team here in Bend, Oregon. And on this channel, we talk about all things Central Oregon, from real estate, recreation, beer, mountain views, and sometimes whether or not it's okay to have both a Subaru and a Sprinter van. Spoiler alert, it is. So if you're into this kind of content, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our weekly videos. All right, let's unpack this. So what's changed in 2025? Let's talk about what's different right now compared to the last few years. Housing prices, still high, although they're not going up like crazy 2021 levels. Interest rates, still hovering in that 6 and 7 range as of early spring. Inventory, let's just say that your options aren't unlimited, but it is getting better. But here's the thing, this is where it gets real. Everyone still wants to live here. Demand is not going away. We have mountains, we have breweries, we have mountain bikers in breweries talking about the mountains. People are still relocating here from California, Washington, Arizona, even the East Coast. And why? Because Bend still hits that sweet spot. Outdoor lifestyle, great schools, and still relatively affordable compared to major metros. I literally speak with people every week who are thinking about relocating here, and they always say the same thing. It just seems like Bend ticks all the boxes. And let's be honest, if you've spent a weekend here in July, floating the river with a pint in your hand and Mount Bachelor in the background, you know, they're not wrong. All right, so who is buying in 2025? Right now, we're seeing remote workers escaping big cities for a better lifestyle. This is probably the largest sector we see. It seems like everyone who can work remote would rather work remote here in Bend, with the Chutes River and Mount Bachelor and everything. In fact, a new economic study was just released by the city of Bend that shows that 28% of workers in Bend work remote. But I think that's actually low. I bet it's higher than that. Next, we're seeing retirees cashing out equity elsewhere and buying here with cash. Whether it's the climate, the views, the outdoor recreation, or heck, sometimes it's just the grandbabies bringing them here. We see a lot of retirees relocating to the area. They bring cash from their big city properties, find a nice home with some land, and really soak up those Central Oregon vibes. Next, locals upgrading. Locals like to upgrade as their families grow or as their income increases, and we love working with local families to help them trade up into their next home that's got enough space to truly feel comfortable, live that Bend life they've always dreamed of. It's an honor. And finally, investors looking at long-term rental, income, or vacation homes. Now, there are challenges in a market like this. It's not like it used to be back in 2015 and everything penciled. But as investors ourselves, we know the tricks, we've got the know-how, and we'd love to help those particular type of investors along their journey. So if you're in one of these categories, you're in good company. But should you wait for the crash? Okay, let's talk about the big, scary C word here. Crash. We get asked all the time, is the Bend market gonna crash? Should we just wait to buy? And the answer is, it's not 2008. Bend's market has cooled slightly since the crazy hot COVID days, but it hasn't by any means fallen off a cliff. And why? Because the fundamentals are still strong. Desirability, people want to live here. Limited inventory, we're not overbuilt. We can't overbuild, we're kind of hemmed in. Job growth, tech, healthcare, and remote work are all expanding. And lastly, no urban sprawl. We're literally surrounded by protected land. The market isn't crashing, it's stabilizing. And smart buyers, they're getting in now while things are more balanced. So, what can you get right now? Let's say you've got a budget of $800,000. In 2021, that might have got you like a 1,300 square foot home and a bidding war. Today, you can still get a great home, maybe with views, maybe with a nice big backyard, or in a cool neighborhood like Midtown or even parts of Northwest Crossing. If you play your cards right. Maybe a condo. Homes are sitting on the market a little bit longer, which means more leverage, more negotiations, fewer sight unseen $100,000 over asking from somebody who doesn't really even know what Pilot Butte is. If you do know what Pilot Butte is, welcome. you belong here. I was just in a 2,300 square foot brand new home. In fact, it was a Tour of Homes winner. It was a 4-bed, 3-bath, 3-car garage, mountain views out the front sidewalk, and it was gorgeous. Built by one of the more reputable builders in town. This builder builds in Northwest Crossing, Hidden Hills. They build fine homes. And this home was only $699. I was honestly kind of shocked at the value there. So good deals are out there to be had right now. Okay, but what about the interest rate dilemma? Yeah, rates are a lot higher than they were back in the 2 to 3% glory days. I'll give you that. But that's not really the whole story. Let's dive in here. Remember, you marry the house, but you only date the rate. You can always refinance later. But at that price, that lot, that view, maybe the proximity to your kid's school, you don't get to hit refresh on that. And let's not forget, the number one rule of real estate is not interest rate, interest rate, interest rate. It's location, location, location. And with less competition today, there's more room for inspection, wiggle room, price negotiations, closing cost coverage, rate buy-down incentives. These were things that were unthinkable in 2021. And because of the demand in this area, you know prices will rise when interest rates come down. And waiting to save on interest may cost you more on price. But we're also seeing more creative financing. Sellers offering buy-downs, lenders helping with rate strategies. There are always ways to make it work. If the monthly payment is your sticking point, reach out to us and let us know. We've got great lenders that will bend over backwards to help you. Was that too punny? All right. Let's talk for a second on why people regret not buying. True story. I had a client back in 2021 look at a home in Discovery West for $950. Now, if you don't know what Discovery West is, it is one of the most premium neighborhoods in all of Bend. They passed on the house. Too expensive. Okay. Currently, a comparable house 4 doors down just sold. It's pending right now, 21 days on the market for really? It says 1.6. 1.6. I almost didn't believe it. I wrote it. I had to read it again. We all have that story, right? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. If you're waiting for that magic moment where prices are cheap, interest rates are low, and sellers are desperate, that moment doesn't exist. What does exist is the right time for you. What is your situation? What are your plans? Is now the best time, or is now just the time? Because lifestyle still and will always win. Here's the thing that never changes. People don't move to Bend because it's the cheapest. They move to Bend because you can ski in the morning and paddleboard in the afternoon. You can walk to your favorite brewery from some of the best neighborhoods in the state. The air smells like pine trees and adventure. And your kids can grow up outside, not glued to a screen. When you buy in Bend, you're not just buying a house, you're buying a lifestyle. And in 2025, that lifestyle is still very much in demand. So where to focus your search in 2025? Quick hits on hot areas we're watching right now. Midtown / the Orchard District. Still one of the best value pockets with character and charm. Northwest Crossing / Discovery West. Pricey? Yes, but some of the best new construction and access to trails in all of the city. Southeast Bend. Affordable, growing, and still close to everything. Redmond. Look, if Bend's too pricey, don't sleep on Redmond. Great neighborhoods, views, and it's only 20 minutes to the north. And lastly, Tumalo. If you want charm, acreage, and big sky views, Tumalo's got you there. This is your spot. In fact, we've got detailed videos on all of these neighborhoods and more. Just check out that playlist right up over there. Final thoughts. Is Bend still a good place to buy? Yes, but it also depends. Depends on your goals, depends on your budget, depends on your timing and your vision for life here. But here's what I will say, after helping hundreds of people buy homes here in Central Oregon, if you love it here, if the idea of a morning run along the Deschutes River or a Friday sunset beer on your patio just kind of speaks to you, then waiting might cost you more than you think. And if you are thinking of making a move, my team and I would love to be your local real estate resource of choice. You can reach out to us at krommrealestate.com. We would love to hear from you. Have a conversation. Figure out if we can make your life's dreams come true. We know Bend. We live here. If it's not apparent, we love it here. So thanks so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like button, and we will see you over in the next video.